All right, so I've been thinking about this lately because as I've been sick, one of the worst things that we can do when we feel bad, when we feel like we're in a negative state, when our mind is telling us that everything is worthless, that nothing is worth our time, that we should give up with everything that we're doing. When these thoughts happen, what I've noticed is the desire to do a negative thing that you normally would do but you know is bad and you stop doing it. Like for example, if you used to play a lot of video games and you don't play video games anymore, or for example me, I used to smoke a lot of weed and suddenly you have a big desire to start smoking weed again, like a lot of weed, watch a lot of movies again, or anything that is really bad, like playing video games up until 3 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever. When those thoughts happen, when one feels negative, the importance is to not entertain that desire, because it's better to do nothing when we feel bad than to do something that is going to make us feel worse afterwards. Because I've fell into this trap many times in my life. There is this action reaction. The action is that I feel, the action is that I feel bad. I feel like everything that I'm doing is worthless. It feels like, building a business while working a full-time job is draining me. It's tiring. I'm not sleeping well. It feels like nothing is moving forward, as you're not instantly seeing the progress as you normally would. When you would play a video game, you would see the progress way quicker because it's set up to be that way. It's fast-paced, and in comparison to that video game, life is way slower, and that's just the reality of life. And so what the importance is here is to not give into it, to not give into that desire of, hey, okay, the reaction, oh fuck, give me a moment, I'm gonna close the windows because I'm getting distracted by the sound that's happening outside. So I live in a very crowded neighborhood, and I know that you can't hear me, but I'm here. So I'm gonna keep talking, and this is as raw as a video can get. So as I was talking, there's this action reaction. The action is that you get these thoughts that everything is worthless. The reaction to that intuitively is, okay, I feel bad, so I'm gonna do something that quote unquote makes me feel better. But that feeling better is not always good, because oftentimes what I've noticed with myself and what I see with other people is that the thing that they think will make them feel better is a habit that is bad. So suddenly, if you want to start smoking a lot of weed like me, and you start doing it, you know it's bad, and you know that you will feel guilty afterwards. So if I would now start smoking a lot of weed, I know that in a week of now, when I feel better, or tomorrow when I feel better, I will not be happy. So, what does this do to us if we give in to this desire? It will become a habit. And so every time we get a negative thought, we do this as a result. This is just how everything works in life when it comes to building up a habit. There is this moment, this thing that happens, and we do this as a result. So what does this show us? If we want to change our outcome, our outcome in terms of like emotionally, we have to take away what we do after something happens to us. And so I think in the book called Atomic Habits, the author, I think his name is James Clear, speaks about habit stacking. Habit stacking is exactly this. You do one habit, one thing happens, and you do this as a result from it. And once this thing is done, you do the other thing. And based off of the habit that you do, since we have good habits and bad habits, what we do colors how that action is going to compound in our lives. And so for example, if you're someone who wakes up and the first thing you do is scroll on your phone, and once you scroll on your phone, the next thing that you do is suddenly you feel like a desire to play a game. Okay, and so now you're already stacking habits together. And as a result from that, you feel bad. You notice, oh, my time has passed. My time has been wasted. And so it's not good that I've been doing this. Cool. If you would change the action that you did after you woke up, so for example, instead of grabbing your phone, you would get up or you would grab a bottle of water. The next thing you do afterwards, that matters a lot, because now you're stacking up a new habit. Okay, I'm gonna do this new thing then. For example, you drank a glass of water, you're gonna go into the shower. Good. And after the shower, you get ready to go to work, go to school, go work on your business, go have a walk. Doesn't matter what you do, as long as it's quote unquote good in terms of if it gets you closer to your goal. If you start stacking those things, the compounding result of that would be positive. And so in the long term, you would feel better. And oftentimes, these desires that we give into, they make us feel good in the short term. They make us feel good right now. But in the long term, they make us unhappy. And most unhappiness that I've experienced in my life is rooted from things that I have done in the past that I am unhappy about. And so, through recognizing this and consistently doing the habits that have a delayed result to them, a delayed good result to them, that's very important, because drinking a can of Coke can have a delayed result, but it has a delayed negative result, since you will get health complications because of it. Or if you don't sleep, like, I don't know if it gives you any kind of well, it gives you a result, definitely not a good one. It gives you a result, but in the long term, a negative result. So the kind of habit taints also the kind of result that we'll get and whether it is good or bad. And of course, what's good or bad is subjective to you. It all comes down to how do you want to live as an individual in your life. And oftentimes, if we feel regret for something that we have done, it's because it is not aligned with who we see ourselves as. And this comes down to the core values that we hold, that define our identity as the individual that we are. For example, my name is Mark, and I'm an ambitious man who likes to push hard and stay consistent and stay disciplined on the tasks that he has to do that get me to build up a business, that get me to have impact. And so when I do something that is misaligned with that, I feel bad and I feel regret. But at the top of my, when it's top of mind, at the forefront, that's a better word, it doesn't seem like that is what is happening, that it is because we're misaligned with our values, that we're misaligned with who we see ourselves as an individual. But we feel it. And so feelings are super important. And this video all started about feelings, what we feel. We feel bad. We can't always feel good. That's true. That's a fact. We can make it more repeatable that we feel better, or that the baseline of how we feel is at a higher threshold than what it would be if we'd always done bad habits. So if you would do a lot of good habits, our thresholds of experiencing life would be better. And I can give you an amazing example of that. This morning I woke up, I slept in a little bit because I went late to bed, and I'm on a holiday, I'm 2 weeks off, I'm still recovering from being sick, and the thing I did was I went to the shower and then I took a cold shower. Funny thing is, the cold shower was painful in the moment, but it gave me such a good mood. It gave me a good vibe, and that vibe, I brought that into the rest of the day. And even today, there was something that I needed to do that I had a lot of negative feeling towards. So yesterday I had a car crash. Nothing bad, nothing too terrible, but a truck drove into my left side, my left flank, left front side, hit the rim of the car, and also damaged the outer part of the car. Nothing too bad, I'm alive. It was like not at speed, he just literally ran into me. He started pushing into the car. But I forgot one very important thing on the document, and it was a signature. And that's crazy. I forgot the signature. Now that document is basically unusable, We're gonna fix it. I will meet up with the guy and he will put the signature. But since this is a company car and it's the car of my employer, I kind of felt ashamed that I had to bring it up. I felt ashamed that I had to bring it up because it was misaligned with the identity that I see myself as an individual that I see myself as. I don't see myself as someone who wants to give a document that is unfinished. I want to give something that is finished. I see myself as someone who's willing to do that what it takes to have it finished. And so that's what we will do today. After this video, I'm going to eat and I'm going to drive over to that guy, which he's in a different country, but I'm doing what is necessary to get that signature so that we can finish off this document and give it to the insurance company so that it is usable, so that both his car and the insurance that's tied to his car can do something about it, and that the insurance of the company that I work for also gets something to do with it. And I was afraid of bringing this topic up because of how ashamed I was of what I did. Now, is it bad? And now I'm going to tell you something interesting. Is it bad that one feels shame for what they do? Yes and no. Depends on the context. So for example, I like to tell myself negative things. I don't see that those are a bad thing. Negative things that I tell myself actually get me to realize I'm misaligned. I'm doing something wrong and I have to fix this. So for me, it works. It may not work for you. Because in the past, I used to be someone who was like, oh, focus on the positive, focus on good, always be grateful. But I noticed that it was making me comfortable. So instead, what I am noticing right now is what is quite valuable for me in my life is when I tell myself, oh man, loser, you could have done better. Like, what the hell? That's so stupid. I'm like, okay, that was stupid. Okay, I want to avoid being stupid because as a human, as creatures, as human creatures, we want to avoid feeling in pain. And so I feel pain now, and so I want to avoid feeling in pain. Okay, so what is the thing that I can do which makes me to avoid the pain? Okay, I can run away from it, or I can try to fix it. And so my decision is now going to be, I am going to fix it. And thus, that's going to be a good habit, and that is a good habit because it will add points to the board of the total identity that I have of myself of being an ambitious man. So although I've done something bad, the thing that I do afterwards, habit stacking, is what then gets me to experience a heightened sense of gratification for life. And so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say with this video of today. May this be valuable for you. And with anything that happens in your life, always remember that you are 100% responsible for the results in your life. Make the hard decision today, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye-bye.